Coming up, state revenues are down, school shortages are up, a healthcare shortage, and the gang that couldn't shoot straight. This and more when Perspectives continues. Hello, I'm Sam Jones. Parenting is not an easy job, and certainly not one for the faint of heart. There's so much that one must pass on to a child that sometimes it seems overwhelming. Of course, I'm talking about what we've already learned through our life lessons. And at the same time, the little ones are learning a great deal on their own. If they cry, we have to consider a feeding or a diaper change or a hug or maybe all three. So they're teaching us as well. Along the way, we take pictures and make notes, hoping that years from now we can remember the early days. We hope as they get older they'll make good choices, but they don't always. And as parents, we try to be there for them. We stand by them and we help them grow and learn not to make the same mistakes again. Now, some lessons are hard to learn. It goes with being a child and a parent. Eventually, things seem to smooth out somewhat, and we can breathe a little easier for a while. We try to teach them right from wrong. As they get older, they learn that we are a nation of laws, and to break the law is wrong. We try to teach them things that will help them avoid pain and injury. Also, why you shouldn't hurt others. That instead, we should look for ways to help those in need, because no matter what problems you're having, there's always somebody out there in worse shape, and a helping hand is just the right thing to do. Then along come computers and cell phones, and once again we as parents have to step in, and here we're guides to the various minefields that exist on the internet and through social media. They're taught that anything you say or do on social media will always be out there, and to be very careful about what you post, because once it's done, well, it's there for life. There's so much responsibility, of course, that goes with being a parent, and I might add, you're a parent for life. You know that, no matter what comes. Then along comes a politician, a human wrecking ball without a hard hat, because apparently there's nothing he or she needs to protect, who manages to throw a monkey wrench into all that child has been taught. And after you learn that political type is up to no good, you just wonder what parenting skills were involved in his or her childhood development. Now, with this in mind, dear Oklahoma parent, I direct your attention to the former Oklahoma Republican Party Chairman, Randy Brogdon, who posted the following on the Republican Party's Facebook page, and I quote, "The food stamp program administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture is proud to be distributing this year the greatest amount of free food and food stamps ever to 46 million people. Meanwhile, the National Park Service, administered by the U.S. Department of the Interior, asks us, please do not feed the animals." And that's an end quote. "The stated reason for this policy is because the animals will grow dependent on handouts and not learn to take care of themselves." End quote to Randy Brogdon. Now, Oklahoma Republican and Democratic lawmakers came together on this one, and their outrage was loud and clear. In essence, how can you link aid recipients to animals? Well, Brogdon pulled the posting and sort of apologized, but not really. But the damage was already done. Randy, how many times I got to tell you? Apparently, you haven't been in the trenches. You haven't seen the needy up close and personal. Well, I have. And let me tell you, old buddy, yours is not the kind of help they need. Since you don't know what's going on, what's really going on in Oklahoma, let me help you out just a little bit. According to the Department of Human Services, in June, over 600,000 people were in the state's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Out of that number, 350,000, that's 350,000 are seniors, disabled, or children. Additionally, only a very small percentage, 2.1%, are able-bodied adults and are required to work. The program was never intended to be a person's sole source of food, but to supplement it. Randy, got just a couple of more things here. I know that you've already gone, but I also know we haven't heard the last of you. You're probably going to run for office. First of all, poor people are not animals. Second, thanks to you, national criticism was dumped on Oklahoma again. Third, since you seem to lay claim to your party being the one Honest Abe started, well, tell me, what do you suppose Abe would say about your comments? Oh, better yet, and you gotta love this one, what would Jesus say? Well, sir, I can't speak for him or anybody else, but this reporter's been to the very heart of the problem. I've seen it up close and I've seen it personal, and your approach is a very sad and very personal slap in the face to every parent trying to instill do the right thing in their children. It's also a direct insult to the thousands of men and women fighting the good fight in the trenches of the war on poverty and never asking for a thank you or any publicity. Randy, let me close by quoting a few remarks from Franklin Roosevelt in a 1937 speech. "The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have too little." End quote.